Okay, so last time I did a video on someone saying COD is rigged. A lot of people in the comments thought I was a COD defender. I am not. I just think that guy didn't really make that much sense. So let's see if this guy can convince me today.
What up? It's Prime Pete. It's that time of year to bring to everyone's attention once again. Call of Duty is not the beloved game it once was. What was once everyone's favorite first-person arcade shooter is now a shell of its former self. It's a corporately owned, manipulative, monetized, and rigged video game that has the same logic as slot machines or claw machines do. The game is designed to drip feed you dopamine and keep you addicted by any means possible in order for you to buy as many
That is true.
transactions as possible. So I'm not going to waste your time. TLDR, Call of Duty is rigged. And I'm going to rapid fire all of the evidence you need to know that the game is entirely fake and manipulative, and Black Ops 6 is the worst iteration of this system yet. I've got 5 major points as to why this game is rigged and the proof behind it. Here we go. Number 1, the patents. So we have patents made
I don't know what that means, so hopefully he'll tell me.
by Activision that detail the manipulation of in-game parameters in order to boost players of certain skill levels. There are also more than one of these, which would suggest that Activision is interested in continuing this technology because that's how patenting works. As far as these systems go, it appears that they're able to manipulate your hitbox, your health, your damage, nerf you mid-match if you're doing too well, and in addition to that, there's a patent that boosts you and gives you easier matches if you purchase skins. For example, if you were to buy a sniper, you might get matched against somebody who's not that good at sniping but is getting into sniping, so you can advertise that sniper skin. Long story short, your entire game experience is
Okay. This is so far believable. I mean, there's times where I shoot someone like 50 times and they turn around and shoot me twice and then I'm dead. And it's really stupid. So far, he's doing good at convincing me.
manipulated by either spending money or doing too well, and they'll just nerf you in the match. And the way a patent process works is that you have to invest lots of money and lots of time into developing a patent. So for a patent to just be sitting there and not in use, as a lot of people argue, is just completely far-fetched. If Activision made this patent, there's a pretty good chance they're using it. With skill-based damage also trending,
The reason this is also very believable is because if you own Black Ops 6, there's so much, like, they're trying to get you to buy their outfits. And you see, uh, I'm at fault for it. I have not paid any money besides the money to buy this game. So if one person in my comment, I do not get my mommy's credit card and buy. So yeah.
it makes perfect
Also, I'm not like 9. I sound like I'm 9, but stop talking down to me in the comments, please. It really is weird.
sense that this game has the worst iteration of it yet. After all, the skill ceiling is the highest in Black Ops 6 given the Omni movement and the general fast pace of the game, so it would make perfect sense why the skill-based damage is so bad this year. But you are getting nerfed mid-match, and these patents show evidence. Second point, EOMM. You thought SBMM was the thing, skill-based matchmaking? Yeah, you thought wrong, pal. It's actually EOMM, engagement optimized matchmaking. This is essentially just rigged matches that are meant to either be wins or losses. Originally, this was based on research from a group of students from UCLA that showed that having rigged matches and a certain string of results actually keeps players retained longer than just basic skill-based matchmaking or connection-based matchmaking. And aside from being rigged, the problem with EOMM is that it sacrifices your ping because your pool of players that you can play with is so unbelievably small. That's why the match times are so long, and that's why you're searching for matches above 40, 50, 60 ping if you're in the United States, and maybe even longer if you live outside of the country. The game is searching for a group of players that are stacked either with or against you to give you a win or a loss. And then if that's not happening, the game will just nerf you mid-match. In-game parameter manipulation and EOMM in combination with each other create
That's just kind of skill-based matchmaking, but in a way.
an algorithmically rigged system that forces you to either win or lose, and you have barely any control over it. Ultimately, EOMM shows that inconsistency breeds addiction. And if you don't believe me, let's jump to point number 3. Their blog post dodging the accusations about everything I just said. Activision should be on Dancing with the Stars because you have never seen better moves than this. Question number 1, does the Call of Duty matchmaking process impact any in-game elements such as hit registration, player visibility, aim assist, damage, etc.? No, our matchmaking process does not impact gameplay elements. Okay, so in what world does the matchmaking process impact any in-game elements whatsoever? last time I checked, matchmaking just makes the matches. So to pretend that that's somehow an answer to that question is ludicrous. It's absurd. They're completely dodging the question by using legal speak and lawyers present in order to make sure that they're dodging every accusation without actually answering the question. So that's question number 1 danced around. Question 2, does spending money on Call of Duty content such as bundles, battle pass, or black sale change how players are matched? Money spent does not in any way, shape, or form factor into matchmaking. Did you catch it? That means money spent, not cosmetics owned, not cosmetics worn. For example, if little Timmy spends $50 and little Johnny spends $100, they're not going to be matched any differently. However, if they're wearing those skins, if they just bought those skins, then that will affect their matchmaking as per.
You know what? In a lot of matches, the most like weirdest skin is the one that kills me like 20 times. So yeah.
This patent that matches players based on cosmetics in order to breed more microtransaction sales. So long story short, this is question number 2 dodged because they can't be bothered to address the actual usage of cosmetics, and rather they just talk about the amount of money because that doesn't matter at all. And question number 3, does Call of Duty consider player engagement, time played, as a factor in matchmaking? We do not consider how often or how much you play when determining match.
I'm gonna say yes. So they are lying, huh? We do not consider how often or how much you play when determining matchmaking. No, yes, you do. So
Matchmaking. Okay, seriously? So we redefine engagement as time played, even though it's more like player interest, player satisfaction, and then we say that it doesn't consider how much you play. The engagement in engagement optimized matchmaking does not talk about time played. It talks about player satisfaction and player investment. So in order to answer if the algorithm is actually engagement based, they first have to redefine engagement to mean something that we don't actually mean, and then answer the question that way. So it's 3 questions not answered, 3 questions danced around, and 3 questions dodged about the biggest accusations against them. They can't even give us a straight answer, so I'm leaning towards we are right, and they're lying. Notice in all these 3 questions, they use a Trojan horse or a scapegoat instead of actually answering the question. For example, skill-based damage, they use the matchmaking as a scapegoat because they can say the matchmaking doesn't do it, even though it doesn't do it anyways. In the microtransaction question, they use spending money instead of wearing skins as a scapegoat for answering that question, because the amount of money spent doesn't affect your matchmaking.
okay, I didn't really understand this that much. So money spent does not in any way, shape, or form factor into matchmaking. That's lie. We do not consider how often. Yeah, I read that. No, our matchmaking process does not impact gameplay elements. Does Call of Duty matchmaking process impact any registration, player visibility, aim assist, damage? Well, I don't think of these, but maybe damage because there's a lot of time it's really stupid.
Rather, it's the skins you're wearing. And the third scapegoat is redefining engagement as time played because they know that time played isn't a factor in matchmaking, and that's not the kind of engagement we're actually talking about here. So if you don't believe my first 2 points, this third point should solidify that because they're dodging literally every single allegation, and you can't make that up. Point number 4, keep everyone at a 1KD and trick you into thinking you're better than that. So let's first talk about the recon perk, so you can see where everyone is after you spawn. And for some reason, all of these strongest perks are also part of that package. You got Ninja, Forward, Intel, Tracker, Ghost, Engineer, Vigilance, and Cold-Blooded all in the blue category. So that means if you run 3 of those perks, you're going to get a free recon. So why are we placing all the strongest perks in the blue sector? Now that could be a matter of opinion, but it just looks like if you have Ninja, Ghost, Cold-Blooded, and Vigilance in the same perk category, I bet they want you to use Recon. And Recon just lets people die right after they get a kill and gives you no map advantage because the game's terrible. Next are the spawns, and the spawns are terrible. They're completely random and they're not designed to be read by the.
Okay, that doesn't mean it's rigged with Recon. It just means it's just sloppy game design. I don't think there's any intent behind that, but
Players. They're not designed.
I could be wrong.
To be understood by the players. They completely mess up the flow of a match and they make it so you can't read the match flow properly. This stifles.
It's designed to be. Wait, what does it say? Designed to be unreadable.
They completely mess up the flow of a match and they make it so you can't read the match flow properly. This stifles better players because it gives them a lower KD because they have more difficulty reading the match. The maps are also awfully designed and clearly not 3-lane. These maps are designed for a 1KD experience because they're so cramped and close together and they're so disorganized and have too many lines of sight that it's almost impossible to go on a kill streak. Add the recon perk in there and you start to see where I'm going with this. And then.
That is true. It's very, very rare for me to go on a kill streak. But again, that's just more kind of sloppy game design. Doesn't mean it's rigged in that way. So
To trick everyone into thinking they're actually better than they are, they make assists count towards eliminations. So at the end of the game, if you have 40 kills and 20 deaths, but actually 20 of those kills were just assists, you're going to think you're a 2 KD player, even though you're just a 1 KD player. So keep that in mind. They're literally lying to you with the stats in the game. So what they do is they design the maps bad on purpose, make the spawns completely unpredictable so the game's unreadable, and then add the little recon perk in there to
okay, the bad spawns are so true. This makes me so mad at the bad spawns. I'm pointing at it right now. You can't see me, but I'm pointing. I hate this. The bad spawns. If I go over to the other enemy's team, get over there without dying somehow, and I start shooting them, I don't know, we're just such a coincidence that now my team's over there. Huh. Literally every time. Sometimes I don't even get to kill them, and they're just like, yeah, screw you. And, purposely OP recon perk. Oh, yeah. Purposely bad maps. Maybe bad maps. I don't know. This is just sloppy game design. This is definitely rigged, and maybe I don't really know much about this.
make it even easier to get a kill once you spawn, and they lie to you about your KD so that they can trick people into having a 1 KD, but make them think that they don't have a 1 KD. And the last reason that this game is rigged is the suspicious usage of AI. We've proven AI-generated prestige icons. Recently, we've discovered AI-generated skins that they say, hey, AI, make this, and then we're going to sell it for 20 bucks. We've also got
AI is getting scary. AI
NPC
like really scary.
profiling, which is another patent that basically reads how you play and then uses that to simulate a version of you that's a robot. We've got an AI chatbot that monitors all in-game chat and then bans you based on what it deems to be offensive or not. And last but not least, we've got AI-generated maps, which Blame Truth basically proved in his last video. I'll link it in the description. And Treyarch put a heavy emphasis on hiring people that understand how to work with generative AI. I wonder why. This game wasn't even made entirely by human beings. That's nuts. So just to summarize, the game rigs your damage, hitbox, health, spawns, nerfs you mid-match, boosts you when you buy skins, and then when confronted with these accusations, Activision squirmed and tried to dodge the question by using clever and manipulative language that didn't actually deny anything because they couldn't legally deny it. This includes the fact that matchmaking is engagement optimized and not skill-based, which tosses you predetermined matches in order to keep you addicted, and uses the manipulation.
I don't understand this. I don't understand this. But yeah, I do understand what he's saying, but when you show me this, my brain just...
of in-game parameters in order to give you the performance that the algorithm deems necessary. You only experience a tiny percentage of the player base because they want everyone at a 1 KD. If that happens, then nobody is killing or dying at a higher rate than somebody else. The maps are designed poorly on purpose, and the spawns are baked into the game engine, rendering them virtually unchangeable and designed to toss you certain results. Along with their blatant usage of AI to design in-game assets, it also appears that they profile you based on your playstyle and can emulate you as an AI character.
Okay. Difficult to I can't say that for some reason. I know the word, I just can't say it for some reason. Between human players and computer-controlled NPCs. NPCs may be styled to resemble human. There's NPCs in the game? I feel like that's something that's like common known. I'm just figuring this out. It's kind of... That's sad. Like, at least the NPCs in Fortnite, you know, every single time I get a kill, I know that it's an NPC. Because I suck at Fortnite, but... I didn't even know that. Maybe what?
Character, which leads some conspiracy buffs to question whether or not you're actually playing against human beings, or if it's just an AI with their username that plays just like that person. Call of Duty is the slot machine of video games. It makes perfect sense and it's right in front of our faces. It's the game that gets the most flack for its predatory, inconsistent, and manipulative matchmaking, and it's the only game with skill-based damage accusations regularly tossed around. And it's the only game where huge creators that originally only abided by hard data and denied any of what's obviously right in front of our faces are finally starting to notice that something really
Why is the text... That looks like a username in my...
weird is going on in regards to mid-match nerfing. Black Ops 6 is the culmination of all of these atrociously dishonest and immoral practices, and it's all for the sake of money. If Activision came out and denied anything I just said, straight up, without using any weird wording and directly saying I'm wrong, I would back down and admit I was wrong. But guess what? They've already tried to, and they failed miserably because they were trying to do damage control with lazy wording and obvious legal speak that had cleared up zero suspicions that anyone with a functioning cranium actually had. The evidence overwhelmingly points to this video being correct, and there's almost no evidence to support that everything I just mentioned is not in the game. So yeah, that'll do it. I just pulled back the entire veil of flashiness, nostalgia baiting, and hype to reveal the most conniving and manipulative gaming experience ever conceived on planet Earth, maybe besides casinos. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
So I don't think I'm getting Black Ops 7.